I want to start, but I can hear my family getting home, and I don't want them to just start yelling at me mid-sentence, so I'm gonna sit here and see what happens if they start calling for me or not. It's tea time. Oh, it's too hot. Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Okayest Knitter knitting podcast. If you watched any of my other videos, thank you so much for watching those and coming back to see me for a third time. If you have subscribed, I really appreciate that. If you do enjoy this video, I hope that you like and subscribe as well. Yada, 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 etc., etc. YouTube basic BS. Well, anyway, hello, welcome back. I have had a very busy 2 weeks this last 2 weeks, so I didn't knit very much, but I thought I'd come on and show at least a little bit about what I have done, and then just share some thoughts and some, bizarre whatever I come up with, whatever I decide to say here in the next little bit. Today I am wearing the first sweater I ever knit for myself. And I actually currently have another one of these on the needles. This is the Turtle Dove. This is the original Turtle Dove. And I made, I think, the size 4. And I knit it with Lion Brand Wool Ease or Quick and Easy or whatever it was. It comes in the big giant balls and it's a chunky weight yarn. And I really like it. It's super thick, super cozy. I'm not going to stand up because I have my tea resting down here, but it's got this, I changed the color at the bottom to white because I ran out of this charcoal gray, and I did the same at the sleeves. So it's, I will usually, on a larger project, I will usually knit one before I knit the larger one. So I'll usually knit it in a more economical yarn choice. And I think that it for $7 per giant ball, and I think I got them on sale at Michael's. So I think I used 3 of those total in this sweater. Maybe I will stand up and I'll just pick up my tea and see. So it's got like this drop sleeve construction. So this is an old finished object. And it's got a split hem. But today is the first day that it is not in the 80s. So currently outside in Missoula, Montana, it is in the 70s. So I'm full fall girl right now. And it's actually kind of appropriate because it's not really warm. So I have not knit very much in the last 2 weeks. I think I've completed 2 reasonably sized objects and like 2 baby objects, and I have 1 whip. So the reason behind that is I started a new job. I actually changed jobs 2 weeks ago. I'm a medical assistant, so I had worked at one specialty office for 8 years, and I recently switched over to a different specialty. So needless to say, the last 2 weeks have been very mentally taxing. I'm learning a lot, and my schedule changed too. So it changed for the better. I used to work 4 8s and I had a floating day off, but now I work 4 10s and I have a static day off during the week. So it's much more consistent. It's just longer days. And in addition to that, my child started school. So first day of school, kindergarten, which was wonderful, and she loves it. And there's only 9 kids in her class, and they're all wearing masks. The teacher's wearing masks, and they have the kids into 2 groups. color coded yellow or blue. And so Team Yellow plays on the yellow jungle gym, Team Blue plays on the blue jungle gym. And there's additional sanitation and everything going on too. So I do feel a bit reassured by that. The small class size, just since we're in a rural area, is really reassuring. So we'll see how that goes. But with my medical background, I am concerned, and we'll see. But I do appreciate everything that the school is doing in order to make sure that the kids are safe, the teachers are safe, and the families are safe. So all that said, I didn't knit very much. I started off knitting something. I just was struck to knit this for a friend of mine. You know, sometimes I really am, I feel like I gift a lot of my knitting, but I'm trying to be more of a selfish knitter. But my friend, I don't know, I just felt compelled to knit this for her. I went ahead and knit another The Snuggle is Real, which is a pattern by Maxim Cyr. I've talked about it before on this podcast. I think I talked about it in my first episode. But this is, like I said, a pattern by Maxim Cyr, C-Y-R. It's a paid for pattern. I think that it's $8. Yes, it's an $8 pattern. This is the third one I've made. I love the colors. I ended up using DK yarn. The purple color that you see here is the remaining yarn from my Empower People bandana, which I used Lolabean Yarn Company in the colorway A Mother's Love. So that's this beautiful purpley pink color here. Highly recommend that. I ended up using the remaining 51 grams. So I basically just knit until I ran out of yarn. I know that in his pattern, he calls for 13 inches in the cowl. And I've talked about this before. I do not feel that that's necessary, but I do understand that if you were to knit the full 13 inches, that you could have like a little hood and pull that over, or you'd have some really cool bunching. But the yellow that I used is from Vivid Yarn Studios in the honeycomb colorway. And it's really cool because it's got these little red, I keep wanting to say sprinkles, speckles, and green. I'll see if I can find some to show. You can kind of see that there if it'll focus, not on my face. But yeah, it's super cool, and I really enjoyed knitting this. And then on the inside, I used some drops of brushed alpaca silk, not in the light blue colorway this time. I think this is the purple or fuchsia or something like that. They have a limited colorway. It's whatever purple color it is. It's showing up kind of like a pink color, but it's more, the other two colors are showing very true to color here, but in person, this is more of like, if you think of the LA Lakers, it's more of that purple color than this fuchsia that's showing up. But yes, I am going to get this out in the mail. I just haven't made it to the post office. And I also thought that I would show this here too. Speaking of the post office, check out their website. They have all sorts of really cool stamps. They have Halloween stamps. So make sure to do that. The other thing too is if you are finding in your area that post boxes are being removed, please write your governor. Please write your postmaster. Because it's incredibly important, especially ahead of a election that's going to be held mostly by mail-in ballots. So that being said, I also knit a couple of preemie hats, which I've never knit before. And this is, so let me show you the smaller. I've never knit these before, but these are going to go out in the same package. But I just use scrap yarn, and the gray is from Cascade Yarns, And this blue is Lolodidit Honeydukes. Yeah. So this was a simple pattern I found for free online. I don't know who wrote it. Basically, you cast on 36 stitches and you do garter stitch and stockinette stitch alternating, and then you do decreases. So I made 2 of those, and I'll probably make another one as well in the next size up. So I'll get those out in the mail. And I also knit, oh, you know what? I forgot to talk about the cost of the yarn in this. Snuggle is real. So I used 51 grams of the Lolabean, and her yarn, I think it cost $24, and I bought it off of CC's Wool. I don't know if it costs differently from whatever other retailers, but this CC's Wool is the only place that I've been able to consistently find her yarn because she sells out so fast. But so I used 51 grams, so that's about $12. The Vivid Yarn Studio, their yarn is $24.96 US per skein. I think I used probably 70 grams of that in here. So I would venture to say that that was $16 for this and $12. So we're looking at $28 plus half of this alpaca, which is $3. So the alpaca silk is $7 per ball. So 28 plus 350, I don't know, 31.50. So 31.50 for that. And the paper for pattern is $8. I've made 3 of them now, so I'm not really calculating that into the cost of the finished objects anymore, because once I make 2 of something, I kind of consider that part of those 2 items, and then any other items that I make off of that pattern, it's bonus. It's bonus. So I don't include those in the cost of the finished objects anymore. And then I also knit another item that I ended up gifting out, and I gave it away already to an old coworker in need. What I knit was the Higgins Lake Hat by Jodi Brown, which can be found in the Nomadics Knits Michigan issue that recently came out. I had pre-ordered that. Unfortunately, due to COVID, the hard copies aren't shipping out, but there is a downloadable copy that they also gave. So while you wait for your hard copy, you can download the full book, which was $22. And you can purchase it right off of their website. And I'm really looking forward to getting my hard copy one because the downloaded one is so beautiful. But I really bought it just for this hat pattern. I ended up using the leftover honeycomb color from the Vivid Yarn Studios and the Vivid Yarn Studios in bronze as well. So something happened with this where I didn't really think about, I didn't really think before I cast this project on what colors that I was using. I just thought, you know what, this looks like the right amount of yarn. It'll be fine. So I had that 30 grams left over from the of the honeycomb color, which was not enough to do the full like the appropriate amount of repeats of the pattern that are called for, of the motif that's called for. So I think I ended up doing 3 repeats and then did my decreases just because I was running out of the honeycomb. And I think that there's a 4 repeat before decreases in the pattern. So it turned out to be more of a beanie, and I have shown you a picture of what it looks like before I blocked it. So it is a bit tighter of a fit, and I really enjoyed the colors and the process of knitting this. It was super soft, just lovely squishy yarn, and the fabric that it created, it's very reminiscent of like that buffalo plaid that you see in the fall time. So I enjoyed that, but I did block it out. It ended up being a bit more of a loose fit. I just didn't take a picture of it on. So I'll show a picture of it blocked while it's drying on my porch here as well. But like I said, I gifted that out, and it is in the hands of someone who will truly cherish and enjoy that. So with everything going on, I did end up, I think I did not knit at all this last Monday through Thursday. Up until Thursday night, I think I cast on this project. So I was trolling on Instagram, as one is, known to do, and how that's basically how I get my ideas for what patterns I want to do, is just based off of Instagram. And I don't remember who I saw who had posted a Volt sweater, which is a Sue Stratford pattern. But I saw that pattern and I thought, oh, I want one, and I want it to be very like, I want it in black, and I want it in blue and red, or some version of that, or lime green and black with purple, something. But basically it's a sweater with a lightning bolt on it. It's really, really cute. So I went to Sue Stratford's Ravelry. I bought that pattern, and I read it, and I realized that it's a seamed pattern, which is not my favorite. So then I decided, oh, I'll buy the Volt Mini Me. So I'll knit one for my child to see, can I tolerate knitting this? Can I seam it together? So just before I, go in and buy a bunch of yarn for this sweater and dedicate it to this project, can I actually complete this project? So Thursday night, I cast this on, and here we are. It's Sunday. By the way, I usually film on Saturday, but I had like a complete technical issue. And late last night when I was editing, everything got deleted. So here we are again. I'm just talking to you again. That's okay. Just upstairs by myself talking again. But here's what I've been able to accomplish. I haven't knit on this at all today yet. But this is where I'm at with it. And I really like a lot of the design features, but I hate knitting in the flat. I don't know why. I thought, oh, sure, I'll like it. I'll enjoy it. So this is not going to be a process knit for me. This is going to be a finished object knit. But I really like this so far. It is an intarsia knit. And the thing that I like most about it right now is this cable detail here on the side. So it kind of goes up the ribbing. And once I knit the back of it, it'll go the opposite way on the back, or it'll come the same way on the back. So it'll go like this. I don't know why maybe I can make that face, but it'll look like a little arrow on the side going up. And I really like that. I think that's a really cool design feature, and it's mimicked as well on the sleeve. So once I knit the sleeve, it'll have that on there as well. So you can see I have the intarsia going. I got all these strings in the back. And I have two different balls of this. This is a leftover Polyjuice Potion colorway in Lolodidit Simple DK that I had left over from my Love Witch sweater. You can see these are, I'm not alternating skeins. And this is a really good visual representation of maybe why you would want to do that. So you can tell that in this skein, there's way more dark colors, more purples, more oranges, more black than on this side here. And in this pattern for my child, I just don't care to have 1,000 balls going. And I think it looks good too, because it's coming off the black side of this lightning bolt. So I think that's kind of a neat thing too. And I don't want to mess up my yarn too much, but I'll show you, because I have a system going with how I'm holding my yarn. But these are the two balls, and you can see, or cakes, or whatever you want to call it. But you can see just the visual difference between these two. And I think that that's beautiful and wonderful, and that's why we like indie dyed yarn. Because each one is unique to a point, and they're from the same lot. I bought them for the same project. It just, sometimes certain things take on certain other things. So I am also using an acrylic yarn for my contrast color, and it's in this lime green. it's showing up pretty true to color here. It is loops and threads, soft and shiny, and I'm using the same in the black. So if you don't think that acrylic and wool should go together, you know, that's okay. I'm doing it, and it seems to be working out just fine. If you want to yell at me, just, you know, evaluate what you're yelling at me about and think, does it really matter? No, it doesn't really matter. And sure, I could have used acrylic all around, but my daughter really wanted a sweater to match my sweater. So this is where we're at with it. So that's it. So that's my FOs. That's my works in progress. I've got nothing else. I still kind of have this languishing whip in my Turtle Dove 2 because I am still okay. So here's the thing, is that my local yarn shop, I pre-purchased some of this Drops Brushed Alpaca in the off-white color that I'm holding together with the Lolodidit. I pre-purchased some. It has been on back order with them since the start of quarantine. They can't find it anywhere. So I ended up using what I spent with them, and I got some different yarn, some different colors of this brushed alpaca silk. But I ended up ordering some from Lithuania, of all places. So I'm waiting for that to come. Hopefully it should be here mid-September. So I really hope to get this Turtle Dove 2 off the needles so that I can wear it because it's fall. And I am wearing my first Turtle Dove, which is great. And like I said, I'm modeling that one. Now, I knit the first one like this with this yarn. I learned some things, and now I'm going to apply that to when I'm using my more expensive yarn. So there's always going to be something in your price point. If you're nervous about an investment in yarn, I recommend, you know, find a cheaper yarn. Knit the object, knit the garment, see how it fits, see how it goes. If you really like it and you like the fit, then go ahead and buy the sweater's quantity of yarn. You know, you don't always know how things are going to look on your body. And that's kind of how I have done things in the past, is I'll just go ahead and do essentially a mock-up of a sweater. See if I'm going to like it or not. I cannot find a way that I like my hair today. Maybe like that. But I do have some purchases that have come in. The first thing that I want to show is yarn, and it is the Lolodidit Quotable Dumbledore club. So if you are in the Lolodidit Quotable Dumbledore club and you do not want to see what this month's mystery colorway is, I recommend you look away. So I get mine in the worsted, and I get it with the contrasting color. So today, or this month's quote is, and it comes with this, which is just absolutely so cool. They come wrapped together like that. So this August 2020, the quote is, "It is our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities." What a wonderful quote. What a wonderful quote. We all have some choices to be made in the coming months. And what a really good quote to put with that. Also, thank goodness J.K. Rowling returned her humanitarian award. Ugh. She does not deserve that. Anyhow, sorry, I digress. This is the beautiful colorway that was shipped out. And this red is absolutely to die for. I'll see if I can find, it's got some like ink blots, speckles, like dark purple, black, somewhere in there. I saw them. Oh, here's some. So it's a really beautiful tonal with a couple of like speckles in it. And then this is that golden color with some of the red. Now, I really like this, but I don't know what I'm going to make with it. If you have any ideas of what I should make with this, could you comment below? I don't wear a lot of red. I'm more of a black, gray, purple, and pinks kind of color tones, or browns, but red is kind of not in my color wheelhouse. But here's what I'm thinking. I think this would be a really lovely shawl, but I've never made a shawl. So if you have a shawl pattern that you love that would take 2 balls of worsted weight yarn, please share that with me. Or I was thinking I could make another The Snuggle is Real, because why not? Or I think this would make a really cute Higgins Lake. I don't know. What do you think? Comment below. What do you think I should make with it? If there's a pattern out there that you really like, let me know. Please. Please. I was looking through, because I have the Tanis Gray knitting the Harry Potter world knitting book, and I was thinking, well, maybe I can knit something from that, but there's nothing really with 2 colors in it that I can think of for worsted. So, and it doesn't have to be a Harry Potter pattern. Bonus points if it is, though. Sorry, you have to listen to me slurp. This is tea. This is a juniper mint tea, and I've got my my lovely friends have bees and harvest honey from them, so I have some tea with some honey in it. So let's see. I should actually look at my notes here, huh? What do you think? I think I've touched on everything. Okay, patterns. So I mentioned that I purchased the Volt pattern for adults and the Volt Mini Me. So those were, I purchased them together. So that's from Stratford. They're £8 for the both of them together, which I think equals out to be $10.68 US dollars. I'll double check that and I'll correct it here if that's it. But I'll show some pictures from the patterns themselves. It's a really cool sweater. I think I'm in a very witchy vibe, very witchy mode right now. And I have been following some interesting hashtags, and I saw that somebody had completed a really kind of gothic looking version of this, and so I'm very excited to cast it on. But I am just annoyed at the fact that I have to seam, and I hate purling. Like, I truly, if you can purl and not, like, I don't know, question reality and humanity and everything, good for you. It just does not suit me to purl or seam or weave in ends. So this is going to be a labor of love. That is for sure, for sure. The other thing is that there is a free pattern that came out by Espostrico called Calliope. And I did download that just to look at. It is going to be a beautiful pattern if I ever get around to making it. But I have it in my mind's eye that I really would like to. I really like the way that I'll show a picture. I really like the way that the yoke of it has this extended rib. I really like the sleeve, that it's not really a sucked in sleeve. It's kind of more like, it just, everything about it I really like. It's a fingering fingering plus a mohair held together is the way that they have knit it, but that would equal a DK. So we'll see, maybe someday I will knit that, but I have plenty of other ideas of things that I want to knit, hopefully when life quiets down a little bit more for me. And I thought that I'd also share a couple of things that I've enjoyed that are not knitting related. So for those of you who are here just for the knitting content. I'm sorry, we're done. Goodbye. I love you. But I wanted to share this candle because this has really been keeping me calm and chill and sane lately. It's called See No Evil. It is wild blackberry and white sage. It says Moody Moon Magic, poured under the new moon. Honor your phases. So I don't know. I've been stressed out with the new job. Not like stressed out, but like I'm sleeping better now that I've got a new job. I'm, you know, a little more relaxed, but change can be hard. And I just coming home at the end of the day, lighting this candle, sipping my tea is really nice. And it has 150 hours burn time. I mean, I've been lighting this thing like crazy and I'm not even partially done. I got it. It was like, yeah, $22 at my local shop. It's not my yarn shop, at Rock and Rudy's, which is like a local hippie place. But it's so good. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. And I also figured I'd share a little bit about what I am watching, what I'm reading, some things that are bringing me joy. One new to me knitting podcast is The Woolies, and I have been binge watching all of their episodes. I never thought I'm having some light changes here because it's a little weird outside today, but one thing that I never thought that I would be into is weaving, but now I think I'm going to need to like get a whole new hobby because the tapestries that she comes up with are just absolutely to die for. And I really like it. And plus the cool goth witchy vibes. They are smart, intelligent, beautiful, wonderful makers, and their show is just a delight, and so are they. So I've been watching a lot of that. I also really like watching on YouTube. I love to cook. You know, I love to cook, I love to eat, and I love to try new things. And one chef that I really like, Matty Matheson, he's like a wild child. I love him. He's ridiculous. I have his other cookbook, but his new cookbook is coming out soon, and he's doing like YouTube videos with recipes from that. I think it's like home cooking. He's hilarious, and I love how much he screams because that's how I feel most of the time. So if you're looking for some good vibes and you're sad that Bon Appetit had a racist structure and they're no longer doing videos, check out Matty Matheson. I really like him. He is a wild ride, and it kind of fills that void of missing all of your Bon Appetit people. But I will say, if you do like Bon Appetit, Sola has been on Binging with Babish lately, and Priya's always on her Instagram. So there's that. As far as books go, I actually finished reading a book for a book club that I'm in. I'll show you here. It's called The Warmth of Other Suns. And the book club that I'm in, so hopefully my video didn't just cut out, but it's The Warmth of Other Suns, and it is the epic story of America's Great Migration by Isabel Wilkerson. This book, I mean, this is a big book. This should be required reading for everybody in the US. There's history lessons that I have learned in here that I didn't really, like, I understood the concept of Jim Crow. I understood the concept of sundown towns. But I didn't understand the extent to which they went and the ripple effects of those types of things and how it has run through America. But it follows 4 stories, personal stories from 4 different people and why they chose to leave the South in the Great Migration. And I bought my book from Shakespeare and Company, which is a local bookstore. So I would link an Amazon link here, but I encourage you, if you are interested in reading this book, to please check out your local bookstore and support them. highly recommend. It's amazing. It's very big, and if you're a slow reader like myself, because I'm dyslexic, it takes a while, but it's completely worth it, and it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, but I highly recommend it. So I think the next book that I'm reading, I can't recall the title, so I won't say it. But yeah, next time I'm on here, I'll share the next book that I've read if that's interesting to you. But until then, I have really enjoyed talking to you all, and I really enjoy your comments. So please keep them coming. Share with me any shawl, cowl, or whatever patterns you can think of that would require 2 skeins of yarn in a red and brown. And I hope until I see you next that you cast on. I hope it goes okay. And I hope that you don't just totally delete an entire episode of video. Okay, bye-bye.